Hi guys, welcome back. This is part 3 of the restoration series of this 1946 Boxford miniature precision lathe. What we're going to be doing today is paint stripping. Pretty nasty chemicals, so gloves and goggles not optional. Always wear your protective equipment. And what we're going to do is take a piece of cling film. We're going to completely coat the parts to be stripped, in this case a foot, in the stuff, and we're going to wrap it up in the cling film, and I'm just going to leave this overnight, to be completely honest. You can leave it an hour and then come back and put another layer on. Doesn't make a lot of difference, to be honest. As long as you give it a good enough splat in the first place, it will be absolutely fine. Now this is almost certainly lead paint, so I'm being very careful with it, and I'm very deliberately choosing to not sand this or grind it back whilst there's still any paint on. Because this is 1946, it's almost certain that it will be lead paint, so you'll be very careful with that kind of stuff. I'm just reaching here for an old brush. Any old brush will do. It's mostly just to smear it around. You want to leave it on nice and thick, and this is where the gloves come in. I can afford to be a bit wasteful with this stuff because I'm only intending to put one coat on here, and this is a conscious decision to use chemical rather than abrasion, on the grounds that the paint is known to be of a vintage which is likely to be injurious to health. So yeah, like so many things, you have to be very careful. As long as you take sensible precautions, the nasties won't get you. So I am just tucking this up, and do the same with the next one as well. Just wipe my hands off on a rag in the meantime. That's one. All that paint will be off by the morning. Put that down. I've got an old sheet on the floor here. I'll just lay this on top of it in case it drips. One down. I should add that though this roll of cling film is indeed food grade, it does not live under the sink in the kitchen where people might have their sandwiches wrapped in them. So I again have to just, you have to be sensible with chemicals like this. They're not pleasant, and you don't want them getting them mixed up with your food. They're really not nice, but they are really very effective, and compared to getting a lung full of lead, this is a much better option. Okay, that's number 2 done. Just tuck that one up. Lovely job. Nice. Okay, just the big bit left. I still have no clue what this thing's made of, and I guess once it's cleaned up, we'll find out. I had a good look online today to see if I could find any clues, but nothing doing, I'm afraid. Now, because this is cast, the bottom surface isn't going to be painted. It's going to be very heavy, but not painted, as you can see there. So what I'm going to do is lay down an extra long piece of cling film on the flat of the bench there, and this is just a sheet of plate steel, nothing special. It's sitting on top of my counter. I'll lay that down on there, give it a good splat, and then we'll come along afterwards and wrap it from the top this time. Now, before doing this I did just make sure that my gloves hadn't become perforated in any of the previous action, and I'm being careful to make sure I'm not snagging them as we go. If you do get the stuff on your hands, just wash it off. You can see it's already starting to come off on my hands there. Now I did get a second pot of paint stripper here, but it looks like I'm probably not going to need it, which is nice. Okay, so at that point I'm going to lose the gloves, put a fresh pair on in a minute, and we're going over the top with the remaining cling film. Take that off, and down we go. That is that. Now the instructions on the bottle say leave it for an hour, come back, put another layer on. It's quite a thin layer of paint on this. I don't think it was primed, it was just slapped straight onto probably a keyed surface. We'll see what happens. If it needs another coat, it needs another coat. Of course, being a solid lump of metal, I could just put a blowtorch onto it and scrape the paint off that way. Again, fumes you have to be a bit careful for. But this, as a way of getting rid of all that old nasty paint and putting nice, I'll say relatively healthy stuff back on. You still have to watch out for the fumes when you're using enamels and primer and so on, so I'll be doing it with the door open. We have a much safer option than preparing this, as I said, using abrasives. So we've got the base plate there, 2 feet. Let's see how they do. I'm not doing all of the parts at the moment. I am keeping one piece for colour matching. Now this is actually in pretty good condition. I'm going to see how well I can clean that up. I'm trying to find a paint that matches that colour. I do have a couple of grey enamels in stock. I've got this industry grey that's not a million miles off, perhaps a little bit lighter, but then, you know, it's got something like 75-76 years as it turns out of grey or oil and grime on there. So if I clean that up, maybe with a bit of T-cut, I suppose we can see what the original colour was. On the other side there are some clues, a slightly lighter colour there. So looking at that lighter colour, I'm thinking I might not be a million miles off with the industrial grey there. But we'll see how it goes. I'm going to keep that original for now, just so I've got that reference, and this will be done by morning. So next job with this is literally just to wash that paint off in a bucket really of hot soapy water, again wearing rubber gloves, dry it down completely. I'm going to give it a blast of degreaser as well, make absolutely certain that we are good to go. And there's a few other jobs I need to do with this before I can reprime it and top coat it. Not least I need to figure out whether or not I'm going to have to actually attach anything else to it. I'm thinking probably a frame on the base plate on the left hand end to attach the motor onto, so that it's constantly under tension regardless of which of the pulleys it's on. So that's it for today, guys. I'm going to call it. Thanks very much for watching. Just a quickie this time. Next few days I'm going to try and put out at least something on this restoration every day, so keep an eye out. A few jobs that I know I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to do some manufacture of a few bolts, 3/8 Whitworth for a start off, in order to hold the feet onto the base plate, because I only have enough bolts to reassemble the feet onto the base, and the pulley holder as well onto the top. So yeah, a few jobs including taps and dies. It is Whitworth, that's now confirmed, which is good for me because I've got a full set of Whitworth taps and dies from my bike work. Yeah, 1/4 inch, 7/32 and 3/8 inch are the diameters of the bolts in this particular piece. There we go. So that's it, that'll do for today. Take it easy guys, I'll see you next time. Cheers.